Alright guys, we're almost all set up here. Apologize for the wait, everybody, but just making sure all the equipment is up and running properly, and then we can get started, which we will very shortly. Sorry about that. I was a little too close on the mic. All right, perfect. I got my coffee, Ezekiel. Yes, sir. Unboxing. We got something special in today. I can't wait to surprise you guys with it. Finally got everything perfectly started. This is going to be unboxing. Is the volume okay? It seems a little bit loud. Let me adjust that. How's that? Is that a lot better now? So we got something here from Newegg, and perfect. Yeah, you guys were right. The game was like all the way up at 14, which was insane. So now, perfect. Everybody has their cup of coffee, get something to drink, because I'm going to make sure this is going to be a great unboxing, because we have something very interesting from Newegg here. Right there for you guys. So what exactly could it be? Well, wait and find out, because it's going to be quite exciting. Hopefully you guys are, I don't know how you guys are feeling about the RTX 5060 or the RTX 5060 Ti. That's going to be quite the doozy. I'm sure you heard about the pricing already. It's around $300 to $400 USD if you are interested in that card. I think even a little bit more for the Ti version. But again, that's something we'll see, because that's something in place NVIDIA has had plans for, and it's kind of a late release for them. but I don't know how competitive it's really going to be. So if you're hearing any mic boom, I apologize. My dog is laying right on the mic stand, so if it like moves around or something, then it might make something. A no to the 5. I agree, because the thing about the 5K series, it's quite crazy. It's everything that's been going on with it, let alone the prices. Have you seen the prices, especially for the PNY ARGB one? It's quite insane. I don't know if it's somebody else just posting up at on Walmart because they're trying to sell it for $3,500. Thank you for just follow you. Oh, let me make sure I get you guys connected in a chat, because I got TikTok here too. Let's see. There we go. Perfect. All right, now you guys are good. Sorry about that, guys. I appreciate just followed you. I guess that's the name, just followed you. Pretty funny. But yeah, it's completely crazy for the price for the RTX 50 series. For the PNY Extreme version of it, $3,500. And remember how much NVIDIA was originally trying to charge for the RTX 50 series, or the 5090 really, which was $1,999 USD, allegedly. But every price that you see, you're not going to find that price. If you do, you're very lucky. If you get the reference card, that's great. But the problem is, if you do get the RTX 5090 reference card, looks like the mic dropped down quite a bit there. Let me move it just like that. There we go. Apologize for that mic boom for you guys that hear it. But there we go. Perfect. So, with the Unreal Champion said I paid retail for my card, but it was not 2K. It was more like almost 3K. That's a more realistic take of it. I could see 3,000 more of the closer take for sure when it comes to the RTX 50 series, because again, it's going to be very hard to get your hands on a $2,000 price, especially now. You have a lot of things that are coming into play. A lot of the third-party AIBs also already mentioned that it's hard for them to already make profit with any of the cards as it is. So for them to, they barely are making it, you can so say. Because that's why EVGA, and you had, you know, if you didn't know, what's that other company? Not only EVGA, but another company that ended up siding up with AMD because of that very issue, because it is such a low profit margin for a lot of the AIB companies. So you have very few companies that are liking to deal with NVIDIA anymore, just because of how expensive it is to deal with NVIDIA and being their partner. So the 50 series, still a lot of different issues, missing ROPs, missing PhysX. I don't know if you guys heard about that announcement either, because now it's funny, because they took away PhysX, right? And they also took away DirectX 9. But they brought back PhysX because, advanced PhysX specifically, because they opened up a open source project for it. So you can work on PhysX, but I haven't really looked too much into the details of it, but it just doesn't make sense. So they brought back advanced PhysX so you can work on it, but you can't play PhysX. So I think they're realizing that's a large mistake. And it's 100% a scheme that NVIDIA and a lot of the gaming companies, I feel, are doing, because they want you to purchase a remake of a game. So if you like a game like Fallout New Vegas, you better wait for the remake, because you won't be able to use DirectX 9 on it. Or Mirror's Edge, where they use PhysX. And if you can't play Mirror's Edge, you have to wait for the remake. Again, it's something that I feel that game companies and NVIDIA are head-to-head with. So everybody that's just joining, if you don't know who I am, I'm Chris Mizo. I talk about PC and tech. Today, what I will be doing live is I have a unboxing. It's going to be quite exciting. Pretty hefty box here for those who do not see. And You're probably curious what it is, because it is a surprise. Now, I do have the giveaway winners today as well. And for those winners, I will have an announcement very soon. Fortunately, my phone's being used up on TikTok right now, so I can't just go over to my phone, but I will pull it up shortly. As I have, it's going to be a total of 4 winners. One person won the SSD, the Samsung 990 Pro, and 3 others have won some merch. So congratulations to all those who will be winning and will be announced. Hopefully you guys are on the Discord channel. If you guys are not, please make sure to join it. It is absolutely free. As now I'm really excited about it because we got up to 60 members. And feel free to show off your PC builds. I'm constantly trying to think of different things to add onto it. Right now it's kind of silent because, again, it's not a large server. But hopefully you guys are part of the Discord. If you guys aren't following, or if you're not already not only following but also subscribe, please as well. And that would be excellent, because I do want to announce more giveaways that will be coming up, which I will be excited about. Now, not only with NVIDIA's RTX 50 series, it's kind of quieted down with this whole 12-volt high power port. You haven't really heard too much melting issues, luckily. And also another thing that has been confirmed, if you haven't heard, I mentioned it on the last stream, but just in case if you have not heard it, if you do have anything under the 50 series, make sure you roll back your drivers to December of 2024. So that includes everybody that has an RTX 4090, RTX 4080, anybody out there. Thank you for joining the Discord server, Unreal Champion. Appreciate it. Big shout out to you. Also, I'm really excited for the next giveaway, which it will be a vote, and we will kind of extend it, get a good idea, get a good consensus about everything that is going on. Now, also, with NVIDIA, make sure, again, once I'm going back to the drivers here, even if you have the RTX 4090, if you have the RTX 4080 Super, make sure to roll back of December of 2024. There has been issues currently with the current drivers. Actually, there's been issues throughout this whole year. Thank you for the like, appreciate it so much. Now, the thing is, there has been a long issue with NVIDIA's drivers now, from January till now. That's 4 months right here. So ever since the RTX 50 series has been released, if you have noticed a blacked out screen while you update, that's perfectly normal. Well, typically it's normal. When it's not normal is when your screen doesn't turn back on. This issue actually personally happened to me. I'm sure it's happened to everybody else. Thank you so much for the likes. I'm trying to see your name, but the phone's so far away from me. But I appreciate the likes. If you talk in the chat, I can definitely see you there. But with the 50 series, they had this long ongoing issue. Yeah, the most current update that they have is the one on March 18th. Also, from the one on March 18th, that again still has the same issue. So if you're updating your graphics card from the 40 series, and it is even if you have the RTX 4090, doesn't matter. If you have that card, then you have to roll back your drivers to December. Typically, this also happened to me is when you update the card, it will actually it will black out your screen. Now, the screen blacking out is normal, especially during driver updates, or if you're new to PCs, it is perfectly normal for your screen to black out. It typically flickers not only once, maybe 3 to 4 times. That's because it's updating the driver. It's actually tapping into your GPU. But what is not normal is if it's updating your GPU and then your screen completely blacks out and then it doesn't turn on. A good indication of that is when I took my dog out for the walk. For his typical walk. I came back, a good 20 minutes, my screen still wasn't on. So that was a pretty good indication that the driver updated, but it just failed to display on the screen. So what I had to do was actually manually reboot the PC. To manually reboot it, you have to hold down your PC, which is typically not recommended, holding down the power button, but you have to do a hard reset at times when it comes to these issues. So if you experience these weird issues, if your PC is going to sleep and not waking back up, this is more likely the issue. If your PC has a problem when it is in game and then it blacks out and it does not turn back on, that is the issue. So simply roll back your driver. It isn't your graphics card, don't worry. NVIDIA is not going to, well, you shouldn't let them pull a fast one on you anyway, especially that the card is nearly $2,000 for the RTX 5090. Now, the lowest grade ones, the RTX 5070, you could get that for $600 or $700. Then the 5070 Ti's, a little bit more than that. It's practically the same card. It's based on GB205, but it just has more VRAM. Yes, NVIDIA pulled a fast. I gotta admit to you, Unreal Champion, even when I was over at CES 2025, when I was there, I sat at NVIDIA's press conference. I was very impressed with the RTX 50 series Blackwell presentation. It was quite exciting, actually. It excited me so much that I felt like this was going to be the card that truly does make a big change, because a lot of people were talking this card up. Not only people, but you're talking a lot of major companies were saying that Blackwell will change the way graphics will work. And I didn't, at first, I figured maybe it's something groundbreaking. I had an indication that it was going to be something with AI, but it was, again, more of the frame generation. Instead, it's going to make, this is going to make me rant here, but developers, it's going to make them more lazy because they feel like they don't have to render every single frame or every single motion. They're going to just rely on the frame generation to do that. Hence, if you noticed or ran some tests or Monster Hunter Wilds, if you ran some tests on there with frame generation on, frame generation off, you'll see a big difference. Frame generation on, you'll definitely get more frames. You might be pushing all the way up to 179, 180 frames per second. But once you take all frame generation, it'll drop down quite a bit. It might drop down to about like 120, about 110, 120. But you'll notice the score is significantly higher on the without the frame generation. But without the frame generation, the score will drop even though you have more frames. So realistically, you're not really making your card do any work really. It's just relying on software. So hence why I feel with the 50 series hasn't been the greatest launch. It's even worse than everyone talks about how bad the launch was with the RTX 40 series. And the reason being for it being so bad is because that they were saying that the RTX 4090 was close to $1,500 when it first released. But then they ended up fixing the issue. Well, they kind of dropped the issue when it came to the RTX 4080 because they originally released that at $1,200 USD, but then they dropped it down slightly to $1,100, then back to like around $1,000 because there was a lot of critical feedback from that. And rightfully so. You shouldn't pay so much for a card if it's not a large improvement or large-scale improvement, such as a very memorable generation is the RTX 1080 series. You don't see, the RTX 1080 series. That was like the first real true change when it came to graphics cards. And it's like one of those everlasting cards. Same with the 1060. They're just amazing cards to have. But now the cards are changing so rapidly, and now the demand for gaming is just insane. It just doesn't make any sense at all. So why pay the GTX? I'm sorry. Yes, it's the GTX for some reason, because that was a card that everybody actually ended up keeping for a long time. In fact, like even on Steam surveys, you'll still see people with the GTX 1060. Which is insane. It makes perfect sense though. It's a great card. It works perfectly great. It works fine. Why switch to a new graphics card? Especially if it's going to cost $2,000-$3,000 for a RTX 5090 or RTX 5080, where it's supposed to cost $1,000, but it's going to easily cost you around 1800, or probably the least that you can find it is maybe about 14, 15. But then everything under that, which is pretty crazy to me, is a 5070 Ti. Who would have thought that a 5070 Ti would cross over $1,000? It doesn't make sense. So I know you guys are really excited for this, to open this up. We will soon. If everyone who is just joining, I have a new egg box here, and I'm excited to open it. We're gonna see what type of PC hardware that is inside. You can feel free to take a guess. Hopefully everybody's evening or everybody's day is going well. If it is, make sure to put 1 into the chat. Feel free to let me know. If you're feeling terrible, put 2. Let me know why you're doing so terrible. Because if it's about the 50 series, I can understand. It's pretty sad. I just wonder what can change when it comes to the 60 series. And you know for a fact that NVIDIA is going to come out with either a Super Series or a TI version of a RTX 5080, or, well, actually, it ended up leaking out, if you guys haven't seen that. The RTX 5080 Ti actually leaked out accidentally by Zotac. This is not the first time they did this. They accidentally put it up on their website. But again, you won't hear about this card for another year from now, at least. So if you're looking for a Ti version, they are going to come out more than likely with the RTX 5080 Ti. And it's supposed to go up to, from what Zotac says, it's supposed to go up to 24 gigabytes. So it's no more 16 gigabytes for RTX 5080. Again, another big thing that everybody complained about. The only big improvement is the G7, which is a larger improvement when it comes to the VRAM. Now, with industry-wise, hopefully, I'm sure you've seen everything that's been going on with the whole tariffs. So everything's been practically on pause. So hopefully that won't cause any price dynamic shifts. I'm sure you've seen quite a few. I've looked through various electronics, and you can see like different things. Like look up the Blackmagic camera. You'll see just like the dynamic shift in pricing. But I gotta say, that's pretty funny in the most part. But I am very excited to share with you guys what's in here, and I'm excited to announce the winners very soon. I'm gonna go grab that list real quick. I'm going to announce the first winner here, who won the I wish I was able to give one out of the give out a RTX card if I could, but it is a SSD, the 990 Pro. The first winner I will announce. I just gotta take a look at this list real quick. I'll be right back because the list is quite the distance for me. Let me see here. And I'm just pulling up the list. All right. So, the winner of the SSD of the 990 Pro, and it comes with the heatsink, which is a nice touch, is Kai. Congratulations, Kai. You won a Samsung 990 Pro. I will contact your email, and I will contact you through Discord. Hopefully you're on there. You have won the Samsung 990 Pro SSD with the heatsink. You can feel free to put it in a PS5. You can also feel free to also put it inside of a PC. Just take off the heatsink with it. So chat, everybody, congratulate Kai for winning that. And also, I got 3 pieces of merch that I will be distributing out, which I will announce very shortly as well. So anybody want to take a guess exactly what is in here? What is inside of this box here? What do you think it is? Yeah, I think they will. It's pretty funny though. I gotta say, I wonder how they're feeling about this 104% tariff. 9070 XT. Let me throw that on the desk real quick to show you. Yes, congrats, Kai. Congrats on your NVMe. I will email you. I will Discord you. I will do my best to find you. And I will announce the 3 other winners very shortly about who has won some merch. All right. So I'm going to throw this PC up here just because I want to wait just a little bit just to make sure everybody's here. And let me just show you this. I gotta say, I really like this build. Hopefully you guys were on the channel to see this. Right there. No glare, nothing. Perfect. Let me take off this side panel, you can see it better. It's kind of hard to see with smoked glass, right? That's a good guess. Can be a PC case. And let's get this light on here a little bit better. All right. So if you guys don't know, this is the Sapphire 9070 XT. It's a wonderful card, I gotta say. Hopefully you guys got to see the benchmark. I'm sure a lot of the fandom got to see it. It's quite an amazing card, and it's aesthetically beautiful. You don't see any cables sticking out. It's because they actually have the port in the inside of the card. It is right up here if you take off this heat plate. Now the problem is when you install this card, if you are installing it on a ASUS TUF Gaming motherboard, make sure you install the 12 volt high power port first, and also plug in the ARGB as well if you want to use it, and then put the plate on top before you actually screw it in or actually sit it into place. Otherwise, it will be very tough to take off the magnetic cover that Sapphire does have. It will actually keep closed. In a way, it secures it, so that's a good thing, because it gets in the way actually of the latch to release the graphics card. So if you just pop it out, or when you want to put it in, just make sure to have the magnetic plate on before installation. Don't put it on after, because it will be impossible to put it in, and you don't want to risk damaging your quick release on your graphics card here. Now, it also has the Prime AIO by ASUS, the LC360 with the LCD screen. It's an awesome screen. Yeah, what is in the... Yeah, that's a good guess, Ezekiel. It could be a motherboard. That's definitely a good guess for sure. Let me grab my mouse here so I can get some highlighting done here. Let's see. There we go. I got like my PC. My PC is like a good distance away from me. It's probably like a good 15 feet. So, but I made the, so if you guys are in the chats, feel free to talk. I can see you there. So yes, if I choose between, okay, you said Trump or Kamala. Well, this isn't a political channel, so I'm not gonna really get into that. What I will get into is PCs though. I will tell you that. That's someone on TikTok that was asking that, but let me see if, okay, you're not in there. I walked there just to check. Okay, perfect. Now I can use my mouse right here. That way I don't gotta walk back and forth, guys. Let's see. Right here. Oh, great. It's giving me that famous TikTok puzzle. Don't you love those? Now I gotta refresh it because now nothing matches on it. All right, let me see here. There. That's the closest. Perfect. Okay, so now the chat's connected. Perfect. There we go. Now you guys can see. Yeah, it's you have chats all over YouTube. You also have chats on TikTok and Twitch. So we got quite a few different people in here. So a motherboard is a good guess as G.Skill. Also, a PC case is definitely a good guess that's in here. Now, I'm really excited about how well this build went. Again, this was well under $2,000. We built it just slightly over $1,800. That's all included parts with the ASUS motherboard, and it's quite beautiful, right? You have the ASUS B850 Tough Gaming motherboard with the Sapphire RX 9070 XT, and it is their Nitro Plus, one of their top cards, and definitely highly recommend it. Very impressed with the benchmarks. Able to push it well over 3.3 gigahertz, and which is quite amazing. My dog just moved the mic. He's just laying on top of the mic, so don't mind if you see some movement there. So I don't have any ghost or anything like that. So any hints? Well, you guys it's definitely a PC component for sure. So I can say it is, I'll tell you the manufacturer. It's from Gigabyte. I can say that. So that's the hint so far. That is the hint. And, that's wonderful. Let me see. Trying to find where the other chat box went. It likes to keep hiding in the back for some reason. There we go. Yes, it's a wonderful build. I'm very happy that hopefully it influences other people out there that wants to build a PC. It excites them to do it, because really, you could really build a PC. It's going to be a lot cheaper than the console. Sure, the first initial cost is going to sound expensive. $1,800 is a lot. Sounds a lot compared to, say, a PS5 Pro. But in reality, when you compare it, it's going to be cheaper to have a PC, because it's going to last through many generations. All the games that you purchase will always follow you. That's what's wonderful about PC. And you don't have to pay for online. Well, you still got to pay your internet provider. That's a good guess. Mobo, Gigabyte GPU. These are all good guesses here. These are excellent guesses here. Let me put my chat box actually over here. That would make more sense. Let me move that here. Drag. There we go. Perfect. Now that's better. But these are excellent guesses. So we got Sanchez MTZ. He's guessing a gaming Mobo. That's a good guess. Ezekiel's guessing a Gigabyte GPU. So these two are the guesses so far. We'll see who is correct. And again, make sure to stay tuned. I will open up this box soon. Very excited to share with you guys the contents inside. And I'm sure you guys are just as excited to see PC hardware as much as I am. So far with this build, it has the ASUS Prime LC360 cooler. It has the GPU, as mentioned, the Sapphire Nitro Plus RX 9070 XT. It also has Corsair Vengeance, which is something I highly recommend. Corsair has excellent RAM. I know not everybody is a fan of iCUE. Actually, just today, I just saw somebody complain on YouTube about how terrible iCUE is. Hey, I'm not going to blame you for saying iCUE is terrible. I agree with you. iCUE is quite terrible currently. I've gotten in touch with Corsair actually and talked to them about this. And I told them everything that should be better about iCUE, especially in version 6. Currently it's on version 5, and that's just a disaster. Version 4 was so much better. Version 5 is just terrible. It was supposed to be meant to be much lighter, much more easier, less bloat really, because iCUE 5 was supposed to remove all the extra hardware that you don't have. if you don't have Corsair fans, why are you installing the software for Corsair fans? It just doesn't make sense. So that's why they got iCUE 5 and only installed the necessary hardware that was required from your PC. Such as if you had a Corsair fan, it would install the Corsair fans as part of the setup. But the failure on iCUE's part here is the compatibility, the way it just constantly glitches, the problems where it freezes up. It's just been quite the mess and the spectacle from Corsair. And I gave a list, and if you guys have any complaints about Corsair iCUE, please let me know. Let me know exactly what the complaint is. Don't just say Corsair is stupid, or Corsair is dumb, it doesn't work, or Corsair is the worst software. That doesn't help me. I have to know what the problem is, so that way I can inform Corsair to make sure that they do this update correctly here, because I'm trying to make sure that it works. It's such a pain when it does not work. But anyway, Corsair Vengeance is still great RAM regardless of the software. You don't really have to install it. They also feature Corsair Vengeance without RGBs if that is not your preference. They certainly have it. If you are interested in that, it's just called Corsair Vengeance, and it's a little bit cheaper. I think it's like $10 cheaper if you get it. But this one, we only got it for $92. Really hard deal to beat. Even if it came with RGBs, it was still really cheap. The RAM we chose, not the RAM, this SSD we chose to go with was Crucial's P3 Plus. Micro Center, we got it for a great deal. We got it for $62. It is NVMe, PCI Express 4, which is plenty quick for when it comes to gaming. I agree, G.Skill's excellent. Actually, in the PC build that I have, the 9800X3D build that I have G.Skills in it, and I gotta say, I can't complain about it. One thing that is nice and peaceful about G.Skill's RAM is that there is no type of conflict when it comes to software. It just works exactly the way it's intended to, and it doesn't. And I gotta say, the speed's excellent. I've tested it, compared it with Corsair and G.Skill. Hopefully, you guys seen that video. It's not really going to be quite the gap. Because technically, not even though it's from Corsair or if it's from G.Skill, they're all getting it from either Micron, or they're getting it from their chips from either Micron, or they're getting it from Samsung, or there's another one I can't think of. But G.Skill is excellent, very comparable than when it comes to Corsair. So that's definitely up there. Another great one I gotta say is Team Skill. Is a team. There's a name. Team Group. That's the name I was trying to think of. Team Group also makes some great RAM as well. But the good thing too about this PC case, it also came with the fans here, so it wasn't a pain with the trying to buy extra fans, because a lot of PC cases, it seems that they only come with either one fan, or they don't even bother coming with fans anymore, that you have to go purchase it. This Montech Air 3, it was only $75 at Micro Center. You could certainly find it on Newegg. If you're on YouTube, you can see the links that I have posted down there. If you're interested in the Montech case, it was only $75. It came with 320 millimeter fans and came with 140 millimeter fan. And it comes with even a RGB hub, which is pretty nice. I gotta show you. I'll show you the back of it here. And it's pretty nice that they actually come with it, because not all cases do, especially when it comes to cheaper cases. Now, they might not feature some of the things that you're looking for, like an easy way to connect the case to the PC, but I gotta say, you'll be quite impressed with how it looks here. Piece of sheet metal. Put that down safely. All right. So we go in the back here of how the wiring is. There we go. You see back here, it actually comes with a decent controller back here, which is nice. And again, this was only $75 for this case. It came with 320 millimeter fans, 140mm fan, full ARGB. Doesn't matter what type of motherboard you get, as long as if you get a motherboard that is from ASUS, Gigabyte, MSI, whichever, it will have compatibility as long as if you connect it to the motherboard. You could also control it through the case. Ezekiel says, I am waiting on this RAM, G.Skill Trident Z5 Neo RGB series, AMD Expo DDR. You know what's funny? That's a great one to pick out, because the one that I actually have, the one that I currently have is the 48GB one, which is a excellent choice as well. They're actually coming out with CL26 soon. I think it's coming out pretty soon. And yours is CL26. It's funny. CL26, I'm just seeing that now. CL26 30. Yeah, and they're just releasing that. I'm excited for you. It's going to be quite amazing. You're going to see quite the difference when it comes to speed. Now, everybody on TikTok who is joining in, I'm seeing the chat on YouTube, because I'm also on YouTube, Twitch, and on TikTok currently right now. So Ezekiel saying, I am waiting on this RAM, G.Skill's Trident Z5 Neo RGB series, AMD Expo DDR5, RAM 64 gigabytes, 2x 32 gigabyte, which is 64 gigabytes, 6,000 mega transfers. So he is getting the one where it's CL26. That has just been released. That is quite exciting, because that is going to be very quick. So that is everything about this case here. And not only that, you can, if you look up here, it can actually, kind of hard to see it, I know, but try not to drop the PC as well. But up here, you see the buttons here. They actually have, you can set your RGBs if you want up here, there goes my mic. Thanks, Jonah. Oh, I think he might knock it over. That's funny. All right, let me go move him real quick. He's laying directly on the wire. I know you want to be here. There you go. Oh, that's funny. All right, I am back. He was moving the mic voluntarily for me, but I guess I had to get him up because he was laying directly on the mic wire, which is pretty funny. So I'll put this back together real quick. Yes, the dog is in my studio. That's why you saw the mic is spinning around and everything, which is pretty. What? Oh, now he's messing with the camera now. It's, you know, the funny thing is, he loves to hang out in the studio. Oh yeah, you have 3 dogs in your office too, Ezekiel. It's funny. He always likes to stay by the RGBs on the PC, and he just falls asleep to the lights to them, which is hilarious. He always prefers going to the office, even when it's nighttime. When it's time for him to sleep, he'll want to go to sleep in the office or in the studio. So I'll put this back together real quick, and we'll get to the unboxing. We'll finally unbox this up. And any RX 9070 overclocking advice? What you think of this BioFlash? Oh, that's great you brought it up, because I almost forgot to bring that up too. There is, so if you're not familiar with Sanchez Gaming is talking about, everything about the BIOS flash. If you haven't heard, with AMD's RX 9070 XT, you can flash AMD's BIOS on there, which is, there goes my camera. Excuse the camera movement there. But, so, with the RX 9070 XT, you can flash a BIOS on there from AMD. With AMD's RX 9070 XT, you can it actually makes it quicker. You could certainly do it, but if that's up to you. A lot of people get scared of BIOS flashing, but honestly, with a PC, it's really not that bad. Or on a GPU, I should say. It's not really that bad. Now, when it comes to like doing the overclocking on what software to use, I usually recommend just going on AMD software. Just use AMD's Adrenalin software. If you use any other one, you can. But the problem is you have to exit out of AMD Adrenalin, otherwise they do conflict. Reason why I recommend using AMD's Adrenalin is because then you're still able to use or take advantage of your FSR, and you're also able to take advantage of your Fidelity, AMD Fidelity as well on there. You'll be able to take advantage of all your AMD extra features practically in the software, as long as if you overclock in AMD's Adrenalin. And the nice thing is their UI makes it really nice and simple, and makes it really easy to adjust. So if you're adjusting, first, I always recommend adjusting at least 50 megahertz when you're adjusting, say, the clock speed. When you do the memory, it's going to be, when you do the regular clock, the base clock, you want to boost it 25 every increment and really stress test it. And when it comes to the memory clock, you want to go up to 50. So go 25, 50. Pretty easy to remember each quarter, practically a quarter and once a half. So you just do 25, 50, and try to do a undervolt with it as well. It sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. To make it easier, I will come out with a guide instead of verbally telling you, because I know that probably sounds confusing, but I promise you it's not very hard to do. All I recommend to do is to do a stress test afterwards. Don't just assume it's good because your PC's not frozen, because that's what happens if it overclocks and it freezes up. And if you overclock it too much, or you might see artifacts, which are like those pretty little green dots or pink dots that you see, and then all of a sudden your screen just kind of goes out. So that you want to avoid. So that's why I always recommend increments if you're overclocking anything at all. But Ezekiel is saying I am using GPU Tweak 3 for his overclocking with the 4090. That's excellent. GPU Tweak 3 is great. I'm a big dog lover too. This dog now, he's about he's about to be 13 years old. So he's going to be like in 3 more weeks. So maybe we should do a birthday special for him. Get him a cake. What do you guys think? Don't overclock your GPU for too long. I agree. It's not really necessary. Now, when you do overclock your GPU, now I'm worried about the camera. I got to put a sandbag on it just in case, because I can't have that flipping around. I'll be right back. Oh, it's funny. He's right between the tripod, actually. All right, you're good there, buddy. There we go. All right, now he's not going to move it. At least you might see some shaking or whatever, but yeah, I had him for 13 years. I had him actually when he was 2 months, and he was literally in the palm of my hand, which is pretty insane. Yes, we should get him a cake. We should do a big birthday for him. I don't think he really cares for PC. You know what? He does like RGB fans, so maybe give him some like RGB lights or something. He actually really likes it. He'll lay next to any type of ARGB or RGB, which is pretty funny. So I'll put this back together real quick, and we could go into the box here, get to the unboxing, because I know you guys are looking forward to it. For everyone that's just joining in, I am Chris Mizo. I talk about PC and tech. Hopefully that excites you as much as it does me. And if it does excite you, feel free to like the stream, and also make sure to follow or subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. And hopefully Kai is here to see that he won in the giveaway. And hopefully we do some more giveaways coming up soon. So make sure you stay tuned for that as well. Let me see. And let me move this out the way here. Put this panel together, because we can't have a dog hair all over it. You know what's funny? I cleaned my PC the other day, right? And just to see how, if anything was in it, and right between the radiator, right, and the fans, I had a clump of dog hair I removed. I was surprised, actually. So make sure you clean your PCs out there. It could be blocking some airflow. So now the PC can breathe again. So it was probably like a good build-up, maybe for a few months. And then once I took it apart, I was like, oh man, this has to get cleaned. Alright, so right now we're just putting this back together because I want to do this unboxing with you guys. If you guys haven't seen it or just joining in, I will share it with you guys. I'm just closing up this PC right now because I was just showing all the different parts. Again, you still can build a PC for well under $2,000. Even in 2025. Don't listen to anyone saying that a PC will cost you an arm and a leg. Honestly, you get a console, it'll cost you just as much with the controllers, accessories, PlayStation Plus. Xbox, well, it was Xbox Live. Xbox Game Pass. That's all just going to cost you extra money anyway. So, I have this box here. Right here. So, we got a couple guesses so far. We have a GPU, we have a motherboard, all great guesses. We actually even had a PC case, which is an excellent guess too. Because now they got PC cases. If you want it as the size of a console, you certainly can get one. Fractal Design has some beautiful ones. I would certainly like to check them out. They actually got this really dope case here, where it's like a size of a modem practically. But you can fit a full-size GPU. I don't think a full ATX motherboard is going to fit in it. Still going to have to put either a mini ITX or a micro ATX, whichever motherboard, to put in there to really fit in that size. But it's pretty amazing. You can fit a full GPU in it. And the way it works, and the way how they made it work, was that they actually have a riser cable in there where you can plug it in, where it gives you that, you can take advantage of that space there. And all we need is the magic tool to open this up. What's up, Anthony? Thank you for joining. Make sure, if you have got questions, feel free to ask. Can you shout me? Anthony? Shout out to Anthony on TikTok. And the world can see you. Unfortunately, you can't see the chat on TikTok, but if you go on YouTube or Twitch, Anthony, you can see that you're up there too as well. So definitely, if you want to switch platforms and check that out too, you can. And you can see it. Dave S. Looks like a PC case size box. It does, right? Pretty decent size. Could be. You think it's a 5090? That's a good guess. That'd be pretty amazing, right? If it was a 5090. Has anyone had any luck getting an RTX 5090? That's the question. Has anyone had any luck? Because it's coming in more frequently. So if you are looking for a 5090, hopefully you're able to score one. If you haven't, make sure you do. Because if you do want a 5090, it should be out there. You just got to really hunt for it. 5090 laptop, that's an excellent guess. It could be a laptop. Possibly. They are released. They are certainly released. Luck, blood, sweat, and tears got me. Yes. I gotta ask you, Real. How did you get the RTX 5090? I gotta know. I even tried going through my different sources here, like inside sources, and they were giving me a hard time getting one. Because again, I'm not huge, but even trying to get through the sources that I know, it was near impossible. I don't think I'd want a 5090. A power draw is insane for 15 more FPS. It is. It's 575 watts compared to 425 watts, which was the RTX 4090. So it's crazy the difference in it. And the chipset's practically the same size. It's a 5 nanometer nano chip. So it's a nanometer. Now I'm just messing up my words here. 5 nm die practically. So I joined the Micro Center Discord and they told me about their. Oh really? Oh wow. What I gotta ask? Which unofficial Micro Center Discord? Now that's a good find. You gotta throw me that one. That sounds like a good place to go. Because Micro Center, I'm sure you heard, for everyone who went to Micro Center to try to get a graphics card, it was insane. I went there 4 weeks ago and there was a line. There was still people waiting in line, and it was Friday. It was on a Friday. I guess they waited since Friday night into Saturday morning. I went Saturday morning. I actually was on stream. I was on YouTube stream. And for everyone who was there saw it. I asked them how long they were there, and that's what they said. There was 4 guys out there. 3 of them waited since 12 in the morning. Thanks for the likes, Etney. Thank you. I appreciate it. And Andy Azar says it is a 50. It is a 50W is enough for this specification. Ryzen 9 9950 X3D, and yeah, that's a great combination there. Especially if you plan to game and you plan on doing some builds. I mean, if you're planning to game and do some content and streaming, excellent build for that. That is a great combination. Thank you again for the likes, Anthony. I appreciate it. That is an excellent question. Yes, I do appreciate it. And he does bring up a great question there, because for those who are wondering about that, it is, you can certainly do a great build with it. A 9950 X3D is great for gaming, content creation, and it is also great for editing videos. It's great to do a ton of different tasks. You can certainly do it. Now, if you're only gaming, it's not going to be worth it in that sense, because then you can just go, honestly, 9800 X3D. Now, if you do plan on graphic design and gaming and doing all the other tasks, then the 9950 X3D is certainly for you. I gotta say that. So it's an excellent choice. So is the RX 9070 XT. Great combination. Even combining the 9600 was great with the RX 9070 XT. Thanks for the love so much, Anthony. Really do appreciate it. Okay, so yeah, so I went on launch. Real Champion said he went on launch, and he was there at 4, and I was number 22 online. I can post the link if it's allowed. Yeah, certainly. Yeah, you got to share the link. Well, if you could try posting it on Discord. Well, you could try to post it on Twitch. I don't know how the rules are with Twitch when it comes to links. The suggest PSU for that combo is 900 watts. Oh, is that what 850 watts? I'm sorry. I didn't realize that's what you said earlier. But yeah, for something like that, you need like, because the standard power supply for the 9070 XT is going to be 750 watts. And then the Ryzen 9 is going to take up some decent power. So yeah, Unreal's completely right. I apologize, Andy, but it's a great combination. And the power supply, he's correct. You at least go, I would say go with the even 1000, because you want to make yourself room too. But for the SSD, thank you for the likes, I appreciate it. Andy, so Andy, get at least 1000, because the SSDs or anything extra that you throw into your PC, it will take a little bit more power draw too as well. So 900 might be a harder one to find. Go for 1000. Got the link, perfect. I will certainly go to it after the stream is over, and I will join it. I will also share it with everybody else too. Hopefully you guys see it. Hey Mark, do you remember me from your RX 9070 XT live stream? I do. I do remember, Mark. I do remember. I'm glad you joined. You were on the live stream. It was just the couple, not the past stream, but just a week ago about. Luckily, I got pretty decent memory for the most part. And again, thank you for all the love out there. I really appreciate it, you guys. Make sure to follow, like, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Really appreciate it. Hopefully you join for more giveaways. Kai has just won in the giveaway. So Unreal Champion says, I am in New York City and my regions group is helpful and supportive for 5090. That's awesome because you really need to have a group of people to really find it. You have a lot of those scalpers out there. And I gotta say, when I was at the Micro Center and I talked to them, it seemed awfully fishy that they were there ready to scalp them. And I am in Miami. Thank you for following. Thank you for following. I appreciate it. What mouse is that and how do you like it? The mouse I actually have is the G502 X Hero. It's an excellent mouse. I love it. Very, very useful. And I gotta say, I love the DPI one here. The DPI control is great on it. I loved how you have the extra 2 buttons here, which I customize it, like for things like, say, if I'm playing a first-person shooter, I'll use one for a grenade, one for melee, and then you have the side action buttons here, 2 on the side. Thanks for all the love, I appreciate it. And but it's excellent. I absolutely love it. And it is the Logitech G502 X. That is the mouse. Mark asked if I am a team red or team red, green, or blue. Now, I gotta say, I'm more unbiased about everything. I am completely unbiased. If one looks better than the other, I will sway to that side. So I can't say I'm on any team. I'm more or so for which is the more fair competitor. Currently, for this generation, I would say I'm in Team Red. Hopefully that answers more of your question there, because Team Green has certainly been disappointing. Blue, that's hard to say. They're kind of still trying to they're in the stages of figuring things out, I have to say, for sure, because it just doesn't make it. They haven't made any sense. Thank you for the glitter badge. I appreciate it. And that's on TikTok. Apparently, I can't share any of those type of actions from TikTok. I do appreciate it. But at Micro Center, when I did mention I was there and I was ready to wait in line, I was only there like maybe 15 minutes before opening. And the funny thing is, when I was there to try to go in, the guys that were there, the 2 or 3 guys, they ended up calling their friend out of the car. So that way they take up another spot. And then it turned out to be, they have 4 guys. And then there was the one other guy who was just there, just trying to get a RTX 5090. And he was just there trying to purchase it. And when we went in, they had no cards anyway. So, because it's a Saturday. They don't really restock Saturdays. Why would they? So, all they had was RTX 3060s and a RTX 4060. That was it. So I have the G Pro wireless. Did you change the feed on it? I didn't. I think with this one I did not. No, this one I did not change the feed on it. But I do, again, personally love the feel of this mouse. I also another one I have to recommend is the ASUS. The ASUS Harp Ace. That's an excellent mouse too. It's super responsive, but strictly only for gaming. It's kind of weird if you use it for tasks because the way how smooth it is. But that's an excellent mouse too, I gotta say. Which is, I'll bring that up right now, real quick. Let me see. It is right here. So Eric says what I think of LeBron. I don't think he's a great basketball player as everyone thinks he is. That's what I think. This is the ASUS ROG Harp. Oh, no. This is the Keras 2. I'm sorry. This is a great mouse too, I gotta say. And Unreal Champion says, my store restocks Sunday, Saturdays and Wednesday. Down in Miami here, it's usually like Tuesdays and Thursdays, I believe. And it says, do you have the Power Play for the mouse? The Power Play, I'm sorry. Hey, what's up, Evelyn? Welcome to the chat. Do I have Power Play for the mouse? I'm sorry. I'm not sure what you mean by Power Play. Yeah, I can help answer it if I know what you mean. But I can say, though, I love the both of them personally. These two mouses, I gotta suggest. Logitech G502 because of the hero sensor. It's excellent for that. And the ROG Keras 2 Ace is an excellent mouse, too. Oh, is the recharging? Oh, yeah. No, I don't have the recharging mouse. It would be it would be really nice to have it for sure. You can certainly. I know they have it for this mouse. I just don't have it, unfortunately. Yeah, it is. I think it's like $130, which is pretty crazy, right? $130 for a mouse pad that charges wirelessly. But again, all you have to do is plug it in through USB, and you're good to go. So why do all that? I mean, it is convenient, but it's 100% not necessary. So I'm about to open this up. Hopefully you guys who are just joining in, if you're not sure what I'm doing, I'm just trying to open up this box here, which is from Newegg. We had a few guesses. We had PC cases, we had laptops, we had GPUs, we had motherboards. We have all kinds of guesses here, which is excellent. So, who's excited to see what's in here? Again, hopefully you guys are liking this video. If you do, make sure to give it a thumbs up or give it hearts. Make sure to follow or subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. So, let's open this up. Oh man, I just heard thunder out there. It is that time of the season. Who doesn't like the sound of duct tape? Appreciate the love, guys, on TikTok. Really do. Oh, I thought I had it opened. They taped it again. Oh, sorry, guys. I gotta solve this TikTok puzzle. I don't know why they do this during lives. I guess they don't want people to have so many stream hours, I guess. All right, great. Just solving this puzzle. There we go. Okay. How do you get rid of these TikTok puzzles? I hate them. I don't know why they give it to me. Well, anyway. Right here. You see this? They ended up duct taping this too. So I gotta open it in the front here. Thanks for all the love, guys. TikTok guys. Fan man. Alright, now we got it open. Oh, that was a LeBron shot right there. Alright, so open this up here. Alright, so we got the airbags, right? You ready, guys? So we got the Z890 AORUS Master from Gigabyte. That is the first one here. It looks like it is LGA 1851, which is for a Z890. So this is a Team Blue motherboard here. So not too bad, right? I'll certainly overlook this, do an unboxing for this. It's pretty amazing here. It says I got 18+1+2 phases, digital VRM, as easy latch clicks. Okay, so it's kind of similar to like its prior generation here when it came to their motherboards with the AORUS Master. I'm curious though, which I will definitely do a unboxing of this. It'll be a more in-depth guide, kind of like how we did the whole, how we did the ASUS B850 or we did the ASUS X870. So we'll take a closer look at this and see exactly what it provides, if it shares any type of lanes or anything like that for people who are concerned about it, or for those who are still on Team Blue. Let me put this here. So it doesn't look, that's not bad at all. It has Wi-Fi 7 on here. And it looks like, okay, so they have gold finger protection here. The gold fingers, if you're not sure what they are, they're typically what are under your graphics card, or if that's under your RAM. It has a rubber coating to protect it, I guess, on the siding of the motherboard from what it's describing, which I'm excited to see. That's pretty dope of them to do. It prevents any scratching. It's kind of it's funny because it's kind of like insulting ASUS a little bit, because they're like, hey, we're here to protect your gold fingers, while there's this issue with this release with the X870E boards. But again, ASUS is in the middle of handling and fixing that issue. So for you guys who are just coming in, so far we unboxed this. There's actually something else in the box. Hopefully you guys can see that clearly. Looks like there you go. That's better, right? You guys can see it much better like this. And here's the back of it here. But yeah, Dave, pretty excited about this. We're definitely going to throw a decision here pretty soon, which I will discuss with everybody here in the chat. Hopefully mostly everyone's here. It looks pretty amazing, right? All right, so we'll put this in the side. So you ready for the next one here? Whew. All right, who wants to take the guess here? Who wants to guess what's in here next? Because I'm sure you guys will want to take a guess here. Let me know. What do you guys think in the chat? Could it be could it be another motherboard in here? Could it be some RAM? Could it be SSD? Could it be a GPU? Could it be, what else? CPU. That's a good guess. Could definitely be a CPU. Anybody else? So we got, so far, Real Champion says CPU. That's what we got so far. Anybody else wants to take a guess? I gotta hear from what you guys are thinking. What would go well with this? Or, so it is a GPU. Ezekiel saying a GPU here. i9 CPU. Good guess, Dave. That's a good guess. Where's Mark at? You over here, Mark? I know you want to take a guess here. A RAM kit. That's a good guess. Gigabyte GPU. Definitely a good guess. RAM kit. All right. You guys ready for this? You guys ready to see what's in here? Besides the airbags? All right. Man, they packed us with airbags. Ain't that crazy? I gotta thank Newegg for sending me all these airbags, because have you ever seen how expensive all this shipping airbags are? Like, these airbags are like 20 bucks. It's crazy how they just throw them out like that. Well, not really throw them out. They packed it well, most importantly. All right, you ready? Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it's kind of heavy, actually. So, it's definitely not a RAM kit. There it is. A RTX 5090. It is humongous and heavy. Look at the size difference between the two. That's quite insane. Let me put this down and get this box out the way. All right, so just to give you an indication, yeah, it's heavy. This is actually pretty heavy. If anybody says you go to the gym, I'll just be like, yeah, I lift 5090s all day. That's what I would say. 5090s all day. Just the size difference here. Look how big that is. That, you could almost put two motherboards together. Like, you could probably put, That's pretty insane. Yeah, Ezekiel was on point. GPU and motherboard. Man, you are good, Ezekiel. That is a good guess. That's an excellent guess. That's quite insane, right? Look at the size difference between the two. This literally looks like a shoebox. That's how big it is. Look at it. If you put it on the... Ooh! I fumbled it. It should be okay, I think. There you go. My only concerns is I want to check the ROPs and everything. Unbox the 5090. I will do that maybe on Saturday. I won't do it today. Can't do it today, unfortunately. But if you are interested in seeing it, definitely tune in on Saturday. I will do it. I will do an unboxing of the 5090. I'm more than excited to. Yeah. Hopefully it's okay. Nobody saw anything. So if this goes back to Newegg and I say, hey, it's damaged, nobody saw anything. I'll just say the truck ran over it again. If you guys saw that the last time, I got a Newegg box and it really literally looked like a truck ran over it, and then they just put some shipping tape around it and hoped that it was all good to go. Luckily, it was perfectly fine. In fact, it was the RX 9070 XT in that Newegg box. Unreal Champion says, I did my homework before I opened my GPU, so I had it like for half a day before I got to test it. That's excellent. I'm sure you probably saw all the different news on it and all the different issues. My biggest concern, personally to me, I have to say, even Gigabyte said this themselves, the Gigabyte engineers actually said this themselves, is that they feel that there's too much power, way too much power draw out of the 12-volt high power port. Oh, can't fumble again here. So out of this box here, they're saying that the ROPs are, not the ROPs, I'm thinking of a whole nother subject. Unreal Champion just grabbed my attention with that. But yeah, the ROPs have to be all there. That's important. And on the 12-volt high power port, that the Gigabyte engineers feel that there should be less of a power draw on the Gigabyte, not just Gigabyte, on the RTX 5090. It pulls about 575 watts, which is a lot of power. And even though it's rated at 600 watts, the Gigabyte engineers recommend that only about 325 at the maximum, or 350. I remember it's 325 watts at the maximum. So everyone thought of this, everybody thought that they would have two 12-volt high power ports instead of just one, because you're putting a lot of power through it, which can cause issues. But luckily, we haven't heard anything. No power issues, luckily. But again, we will find out. I'm sure it runs really hot. I'll probably get nervous when I hear the fans kick on, to be honest. Ezekiel says, I am so jealous. How are you ever going to use all that VRAM? Well, it's going to be very hard to. Even though people say they need it, yeah, you can't. Yeah, so even though it's rated at 32 gigabytes of VRAM, you really can't use it all in gaming. You got to use it for more like AI training models, or something along those lines. Or maybe if you, not even like in content creation, you won't use this much VRAM. You would maybe use it in DaVinci Resolve. Maybe you can really push it, rewire it with jumper cable corded. Yeah, you know what? I should put like bigger gauge wires on there instead. Just kind of resolder everything, right? Just chop off the head, and it has to have a pack kit for it, right? I have to look it up online to see if they have some sort of like packing kit for a 12-volt high power port. If there is, then yeah, you could do it. You could throw like 10 gauge wires on there just in case. Have less resistance running through the wires. Because so I gotta ask everyone in the chat, if you have, now I'm nervous about dropping it. Now I gotta ask everyone in the chat here, if you have a RTX 50 series, if specifically the 5090, or if you have another one with the 12-volt high power port, have you experienced any type of heat issues with yours at all, or has everybody been okay so far when it comes to their 12-volt high power port? Because I gotta know. Personally, to me, I haven't really seen anything with. Again, it's much more at lower power, which is the RTX 4090. Again, it's only at 425 watts compared to 575 watts. It's 150 watts extra thrown into the card. No heat problems from Unreal. And he says, I still check all the connectors all the time because I am nervous. I don't blame you. Also, for those who do have a RTX 50 series and are nervous about the connections, just as Unreal Champion, even personally, I get worried about it too. And I always think in the back of my head, what if they're melted and it's just functioning? But in reality, if it's still functioning, it's more than likely fine. It's just, typically when something like that happens, when something melts, you'll smell it first of all. You'll definitely smell it. And the second part too is you won't have much of a display either. I wonder if 5090 owners are setting lower power limits. I certainly would. I would 100% nerf the card. It would make sense. Because practically when you think about it, the RTX 5090, right? The RTX 5090 is practically just a RTX 4090 Super, to be honest. Because reason why I say that, they're both the same die. They're both the 5nm chipset. It's just, even though they name it, I know. What's up, Johnny? Good to see you here. It's good to see you back into the stream. I know. This is just part of what I got here, which is the Z890 AORUS Master and the Z890. It's funny. We actually just had a discussion about this. If you're Team Blue, Team Red, or Team Green. And I said this year, ironically, I said this year I'm definitely Team Red. Opened the box, and here's a blue motherboard to kind of bust up the party here. And the funny thing is, I'm deciding what I'm going to do with this board yet. Because we could certainly do an Intel build. It'll be interesting to see, right? Let me put it like this for you guys here. I can say it's going to be interesting to do Intel build, especially because of you don't really hear too much. You don't really hear too much about the 285K, right? You don't hear anything about 275 or 265K. Tell them, yeah, I should, right? Tell them, I don't want this. I want to get an AM5 board. What the hell are you sending me this for? Nobody uses this. I never heard of Intel. Because it's, honestly, does anybody know anybody that is using a Intel, the 15th generation? I gotta know. Does anybody know that anyone that's using a Z890? Because I haven't met one person that says, yeah, that they're using it. I mean, on purpose anyway. Not being sent one. I'm just saying, has anyone actually been willing to buy the 15th generation of Intel? That's what I have to know. Anybody out there? Because I gotta know if you're... Don't feel ashamed. Don't feel ashamed about saying that you're coming from Intel. Because I gotta know. No, get Intel and test it into the ground. See if you get any issues. Oh, yeah. Because, see, the problem is with Intel, if you guys haven't heard, now, it's not specifically on the 15th generation, but I can tell you from the 13th and 14th generation that there has been heat issues with it. With the heat issues with it overheating because it's getting too much power. Ironically, you know, it's funny... Is Newegg sending me a sign because they sent me a 5090 and a Intel board. They want to see this PC burn. they want to see it catch fire. Maybe that's, I guess a bad publicity is good publicity in a way. So it's just a funny combination. They put these two together because these are some power hungry components here. And and Dave says, I was a die-hard fan of Intel until with my new build. Man, you know what's funny? It's like I felt Intel was doing really good. Especially when it came out with the 12th generation. When Alder Lake came out, the 12900K was out. you had PCI Express 5, you had the introduction to DDR5. It was like almost like a revolution when it came to PCs again. And it honestly, it made it exciting once more. But somehow, Intel just knows how to really mess everything up. They really do. Because they were doing really well. And then all of a sudden, Raptor Lake kind of just like destroyed them. I guess they couldn't tame the Raptor because it just kept overheating different boards. And then they ran out of ideas. You could tell when they came out with the refresh, which kind of makes no sense. Because I feel like they weren't innovating very well at the time. Because they come out with it. They come out with Alder Lake, which was great. And then once it gets to the 12th once it gets to the 13th and 14th generation, it was a mess. And Dave S says, I feel like my only choice was to go to Intel 12th gen. I didn't want the old hardware. I agree. Because the thing is, 12th gen was, again, a great introduction to when it came to the 5th generation. I loved actually how cool it ran. The Alder Lake 12900K actually ran really nice and cool. You could idly, it ran about 30 to 33 degrees Celsius. And then if you were in a game, you probably get it up to maybe 40, maybe a little bit over 40. Then it would be excellent. It actually kept really nice and cool. I was running the Corsair, the Corsair H150. The Corsair H150 LCD. They just came out with it. I remember. And it was actually one of my earlier builds. Like, you could actually see me do, if you go into my YouTube history, you can see that was like one of the, I think that was like the second build I did on YouTube. Yeah, like the second build I did on YouTube. And I actually did it like right on like the dining room table. And, but I mean, it was really impressive. But that was also the same error where I actually had an issue when it came to ASUS's motherboard. That was the time where they had the not the capacitor. It was the, what was it? There was, I can't think of the name of it, but it was backwards. The polarity was backwards and it shorted up the board. I had it for like 2 days and all of a sudden it was out. I had to actually send it out back to ASUS and they sent me a new one and then it was perfectly fine afterwards. But that wasn't Intel's fault there, at least not there. But Intel had issues when it came to the 13th and 14th generation because of the overheating that they had. So they had certainly been through a lot, for sure. But with the 5090, the RTX 4090 is actually what I have. I actually have a WindForce RTX 4090. Very happy with it. What I really like about the RTX 4090 is that there is no coil whine at all. It's actually one of the more quiet GPUs. So I can be accepting on that part. What I can't accept about a graphics card like this is that this is quite expensive, right? This graphics card is up there in price. It's probably like, I think like 29, maybe 28, 2900. But it's up there in price. But anyway, this graphics card does not have PhysX. It does not have DirectX 9. Hopefully that when they do a new driver update, that they will certainly put that back in. It just doesn't make sense not to have it. You spend all this money and you can't even play games such as Fallout New Vegas. But I have to see how it responds to that anyway. And I gotta ask Unreal Champion out there if you got to try to play any older games such as Fallout, say not Fallout 4, but more like Fallout 3 or like New Vegas or any like older games such as that or Mirror's Edge. And if you had any type of issues with it at all. Because I'm just curious if it even lets you to do it or you have to put it into like some sort of compatibility mode. That GPU it's quite insane, right? It's funny when you think about it like that. It is like 4 house payments when you really think of it. It's like a mortgage. You're mortgaging it. You know what's funny? One of the websites that actually had this in stock, you only had 2 choices. They would not let you purchase it. through your bank or through your card. Instead, they said that they wanted you to purchase it through Affirm or what was the other one? But I know Affirm was one of them. And if you're not familiar with what Affirm is practically like a lender that lets you borrow, kind of like pay me later type of deal, where you pay like say $100 a month. So that's what they only led you to open up like a Affirm account in order for you to purchase the card, which is ridiculous. That doesn't make any sense. So why would you want to do that? So Johnny Boy says, I thought they did a open file physics. Yeah, I was just talking about that, Johnny. Like earlier, if you missed it, they opened up Advanced Physics. It's an open source program. And it makes sense. Like, why don't they have it? Because they do still have it in games. I forget which game I was in. And I was looking at it. It's a newer game, matter of fact. And it does have, in fact, it does have physics. It's just Advanced Physics. And matter of fact, I can tell you for sure, I know Ezekiel knows, because Ezekiel's here. He can tell you that even back then, like when it came to like RTX cards, or not RTX cards, but at the time they were still GeForce cards, you would put together a special card, like a PhysX card, to really take advantage of it. But yeah, I'd clear that purchase with the bank. I agree. Send an armored card to pick it up. And you know, would you really say if you had UPS or FedEx dropping this off, would you really trust them to just like, you know how sometimes they just throw it in front of your door, they leave it right on your porch, and they just say, oh yeah, it'll be fine, it's not going to go missing. Would you really trust it out there? I'm sure there's people out there lurking to try to get their hands on an RTX 5090 no matter what. Oh crap. How'd this happen? I got my mic turned upside down. This is the TikTok mic. There we go. Now it should be good. That's the only thing with these wireless mics is they keep the clips kind of annoying on them. So you see this mic, but I'm actually talking through a wireless mic on TikTok. But on the regular stream, I'm using the shotgun mic. So you guys can hear me more, probably better than the wireless mic, I would assume. But the funny thing is, with the RTX 5090, I'm curious about like how everything will be with this, with the ROPs, how the fan control is going to be in it. I'm just curious about the power usage. Definitely wondering about the power limits in it. Now, I can test it in a couple builds here. I could either test it, there's actually quite a few builds. I could either test it in something like a 9800X 3D, or I could put it in a 7950X 3D. What do you guys think? What would you guys rather see the test on is the question. Now, if I run the test, I can run it on a newer board like the X870E or the Crosshair X670E. Either one I could really run test on. Now, I can say for sure the X670E has the larger power supply in there, and it actually has two 12-volt high-power ports in there. Do you have a kilowatt plug meter? No, I don't think I do. You know, the thing is, all I got is like a temperature scanner. I should invest in one of those. That's a great idea, though. Definitely have to put that on the list for sure. Especially because, you know what's funny? They actually came out with a gauge where you can plug it in between the GPU as well. And it will actually tell you the temperatures. It will tell you the temperatures as you're using the GPU. So then you can get an idea of how hot it's really getting or not. I know the good thing is when it comes to ASUS's GeForce RTX 5090, I can say for sure when it comes to theirs, they have like something in there that actually kills off the power to prevent any melting. Like $20, you can see how much an appliance draws. Oh, yeah. See, I got one of these. I got a temperature sensor, so I definitely have that. So I could, and that's, I definitely plan on doing for sure. Because I'm going to put it under heavy load. I'll put it through some stress test. Now, gaming's probably not going to be, thank you for the love out there. Thank you, Bruno, for it. But I could certainly see it. I could see a power draw. I could see it getting really hot, especially if you use it in something like in. I'm just curious if you put it in some sort of LLM, like some sort of AI training module and see how well it works. Come on, gang, I'll buy it. I know you want to, Bruno. Everyone wants this card, it seems. I still got to test it. Just do a little something for me. The crazy thing is, it's like everyone who really wants the RTX 5090, or everyone who really wants the RX 9070 XT, or any of these cards, they will certainly thank you for the follow, the computer guy. I appreciate it. I gotta say, for certain, if you are looking for it, it will certainly come into play very soon. Probably within about 2 or 3 weeks, you should see much more of a larger supply. It tells me how much power draw or usage from my ATX. Yes. And also a great one to use too is if you use hardware. Hardware info is also a great tool to use. I personally love to use it. And I also use... I'm happy. I agree with you. Personally, I'm happy with my RTX 4090. It's already been like 2 years that I had this card, right? The 4090. And I know it works perfectly fine. And it's not melted. So why would I want to replace it? Why would I want to take the risk and watch my PC melt? So it's the latest and greatest, but how much of a increase in power will you really see? I'd rather get the mythical 9080X, yes, than not. I wouldn't be surprised. AMD definitely has something under the wraps. They 100% has something in the works now. They did not expect such a great surge in sales. They didn't think it would succeed this well. I'm glad, because now it kind of pushes AMD into a more serious territory. It makes them want to create a GPU that can really compete. I mean, just imagine if they came out with a GPU that could really compete with the RTX 4090 at least. That would be pretty amazing. Especially if they do it within the next year. I wouldn't be surprised if they come out with it within... I could see them working on it within probably... By the end of the year, they'll probably announce it, I would think. Typically, that's when they do it. And they'll probably show it in CES, I would think. I got to be there for that, for sure. And hopefully... Make sure you guys follow and subscribe as well, because I will keep you guys up to date, and there's more giveaways that will be coming up as well, which I'm excited to do. And Kai, I'm excited for you. You got a brand new Samsung 990 Pro, and also I will get in contact with you shortly, and I have to announce the other 3 winners. I got to bring them up on my list, and I will announce them. And Ezekiel says, Johnny, I am happy with my 4090 build as well. Yes, I'm telling you that 4090 is actually quite amazing. Even though people really rag on the RTX 40 series, it's really not that bad, especially the 4090. In fact, you know what the crazy part is? If you look at your RTX 4090 now, take a look at the value of it. Now it's actually increased in value. You paid $1,500 for it, but somehow now it's like $1,700. The 7800 X3D is still a beast. 100% it is. It's a great processor to take advantage of. Any type of X3D processor is great. I'm hoping for when Ryzen comes out, when they come out with their 10,000 series. When they do, it's actually still going to be on AM5. So everyone who still has an AM5 board, you still certainly can get a 10,000 series Ryzen processor in your motherboard. So they will, more than likely, they won't announce it for another couple years. So we will still have AM5 around for a little while. We won't probably see a new AM6 probably till, maybe 28? It won't be a while. Maybe 2028. So we have plenty of life, and we're still pretty much future-proofed for everyone who still has a AM5 motherboard. And it's still surprising. You still have people out there that still build on AM4. I am getting a 10,000 series CPU as well. I don't blame you. It's going to be it's going to be great to have. But you know what's funny? It's kind of almost like Intel when you think about it. Their series was compatible for the 12th gen, 13th gen, and the 14th gen. So they did also have 3 generations, but their generations were very quick. They were within a year of each other. The 12th gen came out in, 2021. Then 22 came Raptor Lake. Then you had the Raptor Lake refresh, and then already they chose to come out with a whole new generation, which you expected a large change or a revolutionary change from Alder Lake, or from that generation, but you don't really see anything. But you know, PCI Express 6 is in the works already, which is insane because I feel like we're just getting adapted to PCI Express 5 now. But PCI Express 6 is also in the works. And I would expect USB-C a lot more from now on too. Like, you're going to see USB-C everything instead of any USB-A. USB-A will end up kind of fading away for sure. And Ezekiel says, yep, he is waiting for the 10,000 AMD Ryzen series. So for everyone who is just joining in or who is just come into the channel, I'm Chris Mizo. I talk about PCs and tech. My voice is getting all messed up from all the talking. I talk about PCs and tech. We just did an unboxing, which is a Z890 AORUS. It was actually inside of a box, obviously. It wasn't like this. Otherwise, this would be opened. But we have the Z890 AORUS Master, quite a wonderful motherboard, and the AORUS GeForce RTX 5090. And both great components, but Intel, again, sketchy, and nobody actually still hasn't said anything that they built with a Intel processor, which is pretty funny, I think. So if nobody has said that they built a Intel processor with the Intel processor, then that kind of gives you a good indication where they are right now. They are in the hole for sure. Hopefully now that Mal, practically the new guy that took over, Pat Gelsinger, hopefully he does change it around the company, but I don't see Intel being really competitive for a little while now, at least. And, but I can say that I am excited for Ryzen's 10,000 series. It's definitely going to be quite an amazing series, I think, for sure. They have some big surprises, just like they did with the 9950 X3D. The 9950 X3D had some of the best processors, really, which is like the higher quality ones in the silicone grade, which was like, they had some that were like all the way at 101 or 110, something like that. It was pretty insane, though, seeing those numbers. So just let alone, I would think that the 10,000 series, when it comes to AMD, I'm sure they have something up their sleeve. Would love to see their 3D V-cache. They expand on it. They just don't have one V-cache on there. It would be nice if they actually stacked it, double stacked it. That would be nice. And then we could certainly see some changes when it comes to more of, when it comes to gaming and in multitasking, for sure. And hopefully you guys are having a wonderful evening so far. If you are, again, hopefully you are also enjoying this stream so far. Make sure to give it a thumbs up here, or also feel free to give it some love. Make sure you subscribe or join this channel. Would really appreciate it. And I also, before I forget, I got to announce the 3 other winners here. I gotta go. Oh, you know what? Maybe I can see it from here. Let me see. I'm going to pull up the winners. That's going to look probably very tiny from here. Because, again, my display is like a good 20 feet away from me. And the font's like kind of small here. Okay, so I got the screen up, and let me see. Let's test my eyes right now here. We got... no, I ain't going to see it. I sort of brought my wireless keyboard out as well, so that way I could see the winners of who won the merch, at least. Okay, let me go up to it. Woo. Shayna. Okay, so we got Shayna. She wants some merch. Jonas and Udoka. So those three are the want some merch. Again, it is Shayna, Jonas, and Udoka. Or Udoka. So congratulations to those three for winning merch. And also congratulations to everyone who has won in the contest. I will be contacting you via email, and I will also be trying to reach you via Discord. So hopefully you will enjoy these prizes. You won a Samsung 990 Pro and some merch. I will make sure to contact you through Discord or email here. Also, for everyone that is just joining in or just wondering what we're doing, we just did an unboxing. And this is a PC and tech channel, which I'm Chris Mizo here. And we love to talk about PCs and tech. Right now, we were just on the topic of Intel and what they're going through. Again, I haven't seen anyone come in and said that they have a Intel build, which is quite interesting. So that kind of gives you a good indication of where Intel is currently in the markets. It's 100% dominated by AMD right now. You have very few Intel supporters left, it seems. I remember when I went to Micro Center, and I'm sure everybody who went to Micro Center to go and purchase a Intel processor remembers how many people were there to pick up like Alder Lake processor because of just how nice that generation was when it first came, with the whole revolution when it came to PCI Express 5 and when it came to DDR5. But now it's like it's almost minimal at this point. Yes, it's very interesting, right? You don't really see too many Intel builds. And I would imagine that if anyone were to do any type of Intel build, the good thing is it wouldn't be hard to find. But you know what's crazy? A lot of people are raving about the Intel Battle Mage card. I haven't gotten to it yet. I have never gotten one. I gotta try to reach out and see if I can get one. Are you curious about the Intel graphics card, or do you care less for it? And they kind of did that to themselves in a way, don't you think? When it came to their graphics cards, because it's kind of amazing. Dave S says, I use an old 6600K at work on my business PC for customer invoicing and parts order. Yeah, exactly. It's like Intel used to be really great, especially before what I'd say they started falling off after, what was it? I think the 8th gen, was it? After 8th gen, they kind of were falling off then. But yeah, it's a shame. You know, it's funny. I was working on a client's computer, and I was surprised how old his processor was. He had it was an i5. It was an old one. What was it? i5 3000 something. It was a laptop processor though, and it wouldn't upgrade to Windows 11. I was surprised he still even had it, and I was thinking in my head, like, does this have an SSD? And it even had you know what's wild? It still had an optical drive. And this is on a laptop. I've never seen a laptop really last that long. I guess he says he barely uses it, but now he wants to change out his laptop. So I got one ordered in for him. But it's just insane to see that around. Like, you still have people that actually still have the older laptops that still have optical drives. And it still has it's still running on like a i3, what was it, i3 something, but it was the earlier Intel builds, which was insane. I might try to figure the hack to get. You could definitely do it. There is a hack for it. I'm sure all of you who have messed with Windows 11 have seen it before. You can actually get a USB to boot, and you can install it in any Windows 11 system. The thing that really stops it is not really the hardware compatibility, but most of the time it's because of the TPM, which is what prevents it from installing. Ezekiel says, my new ATX build came with the height Y70 touch. Let me see how that's going with all the RGB. You know, I really wanted to experiment with those too. I really like those height cases. Have you guys ever seen it? It's you've probably seen it. I know you guys on TikTok probably have seen it. It's a case where it's all glass practically, and in the front panel, it's just like a display, and it's touch. It's really dope, amazing look. I've always liked how height comes out with these designs, and they're coming out stronger. They got CPU coolers also, like with these big displays. They got these fans. That's something to certainly check out is height. Maybe that's where we'll lean for the next build. But again, it's more or so. I've also had some people that said specifically in the contest that they want to see builds even cheaper, which we can certainly do. I did some calculation on some different builds, and this one's with it's funny, he has a RTX 3080 already, and altogether to do like a build for him, like on the lower end, it's like only like $700. But it's certainly, you still could do those type of builds, but again, it's great to like start off with, especially if you're trying to just like get into PC gaming to see how you like it. So that's perfectly understandable too. Ezekiel says, I have it here at my office waiting on all the PC build parts. I'm excited for you too. You gotta show it off. I heard that they won't have OLED anymore. Oh really? Because that's what really stood out on those cases too. Especially when you saw them in the display. They probably in most micro centers they actually have them out those cases too. Even when you go there, they should have some height cases there, and you gotta check it out. They're pretty amazing. I like the fact how you could set different temperatures. You could do all kinds of stuff with it. You can have your own like hotkeys if that's what you want. It really is quite a amazing design. I just love the look of it. But definitely show it off, Ezekiel. Make sure you show it off in Discord for sure. I gotta see it. It's going to be amazing. And also, for everyone who is just joining in, I'm Chris Mizo. Hopefully you enjoyed this, or if you're missing out on this stream, if you missed out, that's perfectly fine. It will be up on YouTube. It will be also up on Twitch. And I also stream on Wednesdays and Saturdays. I'll be streaming again on Saturday as well at 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Or if you guys want it earlier, 8 to 10. But it seems like most people like the later time for the most. And this is Eastern time, of course. So it's 8. So usually I stream between 10 to 12 on Saturdays, Eastern time. And on Wednesdays, I'll stream between 7 to 9 typically. Sometimes I'll stay over if I get the chance. I'll definitely continue to stream over when I do. And if you are interested in this type of content into PCs and tech, make sure to follow and subscribe to the channel. And make sure to give it a thumbs up or give it a like. I would really appreciate it, as we will continue to do this. Congratulations on those giveaway winners. I'm really excited for you. I will get in touch with you. Again, hopefully you guys claim your prizes. Sometimes you guys are kind of difficult to find. If you are, then I'm going to have to do a redraw. So make sure you check your emails. Everybody out there who have won, Kai, all the winners out there that I've mentioned, please check your emails. I will be trying to reach out to you in order so you can claim your prizes here. Thank you guys, everybody who has joined tonight's stream. I really appreciate it. Hopefully this was exciting. On the weekend, we'll open this up. How's that sound? Or we'll check this out. Maybe we should, you know what? Maybe we should get in contact with Intel, try to get them to get into the stream somehow. Wouldn't that be funny? Have them talk, see if they could persuade anybody. Yes, chat. Congratulate everyone, please. Everyone would appreciate it. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Thank you, Johnny boy. Always appreciate you. I appreciate everyone that comes into the stream. I try to, of course, I try to remember everybody best as I can. And thank you guys again so much for tonight. I really appreciate all the love. And I love all you guys out there. Thank you, FanBam. We will do much more later. And there's so much more upcoming. It's going to be exciting. Thank you guys again for joining. Make sure you don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow, and all the other good stuff. You see the coffee needs to kick in already right now. Oh yeah, for sure. At least I got in contact with a few of them. I got in. So far, I'm working, like I said, I'm working with Corsair, currently, trying to at least, and trying to figure out things with them, and ASUS right now. So everybody who is just joining in, currently I work with ASUS, and not the company. They work with, they work as sponsors, and the same thing with Corsair. I'm trying to work with them right now. But again, it's been a real busy time. Again, thanks again for ASUS for sending those motherboards to us, and also sending such great products to show everybody out there. They certainly are at the top of the market. I highly recommend ASUS for most things. They have very low failure rates when it comes to any of their motherboards or graphics cards or anything like that. Never had any trouble with them. Only a couple times I did. And most of the time, they'll rectify it. They'll always fix the issue. So I gotta think. I thank them highly for being one of the first ones to be out there to reach out, actually, to this channel too. Also, I did have other guys too. Yeah, I love ASUS. Me too. Hopefully, everyone enjoyed the stream. Make sure, if you did, to give it a thumbs up. Give lots of hearts. Love all you guys out there. It's funny, I've been with ASUS for a very long time too myself. Had great times with ASUS. Thank you guys again so much for the stream. Thanks, John did. Make sure you watch the stream. If you guys missed it, check YouTube, check Twitch. It's 100% on there. Thank you guys. Love you guys. Oh, you can't forget the mask. And gotta take a sip of my coffee here. Thank you, Van Dam. Love you all.